Well, we don't wear skimpy bikinis. Hell, it frightens me when I take my shirt off. There's definitely no one pregnant here. This is motor sailing for old dudes. We do live on a boat, and we do cruise extensively along the Australian coast. Join us and visit some great destinations. Learn how to look after a boat and live off grid. It might even get you enthused to do the same thing. Hey, stay out there till you can't. So we just come past Botany Bay. Not much shipping around at the moment, which is good. And our course now is taking us into Wollongong and Port Hacking. So another hour we'll be there. Great. Just rounded Cape Bailey, and we're on course into Port Hacking. We'll pick up a sectored light when we get in here, and that'll lead us in onto the lateral marks to get into the port. Pretty nice with the swells from behind now, just nice roll up and down without too much side to side motion. Good. I've got to thank Andrew. He's a friend on Facebook. He's organised a berth at the Cronulla Yacht Club and a mooring for tomorrow, so that's fantastic. Thanks very much, Andrew. There's really, when you go into Cronulla, there's not really many places to stay, and that'll be great for being tied up in a marina berth and then a mooring tomorrow. So thanks, mate. Excellent work. Thank you.
Yeah, it blows westerly, so the arse of the boat sits in there, and the swung out and all over. So it's the new solar panel on board to go and replace it quickly. So
he's really looked after his. He came out in his inflatable.
Yep.
Showed us the way in, and we're tied up at the Cronulla Sailing Club. So I'm going to catch up. I've got a few people I've got to catch up with down here, so
yeah,
it'll be really good. But hey, Andrew, thanks very much, mate.
Absolute pleasure, mate. I've got the keys coming for you now for the laundry and shower, so you're all sorted for your stay.
I feel good, yeah, no worries. Thanks, mate. Well, we're just leaving the sailing club. We had to be out by 12 o'clock because they've got a race on. There's a big change coming through, so we're going to head up to another little spot and pick up a mooring. Thanks again, Andrew. Fantastic. Well, we've had a good time in Port Hacking, really looked after by Andrew. We've been on his mooring for last night, which was great, but Sydney's got a really bad case of COVID-19 happening. There's lots of cases and they're really not sure where it's coming from, so we decided we're going to head off. It's becoming a bit of a hot spot here, so we're going to head off and head further down the coast to Shoalhaven. That'll be our next destination. So what we're going to do this morning, we're just heading out to Jimboomba. There's a beach out there and usually you can pick up a mooring, so if we can pick up a mooring we'll snag one, otherwise we'll just have to anchor, and from there it puts us pretty close to the exit to Port Hacking, so we can get going early in the morning. I think we've got about 10 hours tomorrow to get down to the Shoalhaven River, but the weather looks like being good, so we'll see how it goes. I think I've been calling this place Jimboomba Beach, but it's Gibbon Beach. Gibbon Beach, that's where we're moored at the moment. We'll stay here overnight and get going in the morning. Well, we're getting farther south, I guess. Jacket, beanie, baked beans for lunch. Why am I doing this? I suppose we'll get used to it. I'm not sure whether this is better than all the heat they've got up in Queensland at the moment anyway. Well, the original plan was to get up very early this morning and head off, but the wind has been blowing about 15 knots from the south just about all night. And we're a bit torn because probably ideally we'd wait here a bit longer for a bit of northerly, but Sydney is going into lockdown by the sound of it with COVID, and we just want to get out of here and make some south. So we're going to go out and do some cruising that we don't like to do most of the time, into the wind. There might not be much of it, but we'll skip down. I think it's going to get better the further south we go.
Eagle 29.
It's a bit ordinary out here. The wind's on the nose. Not blowing really strong, but just enough to make it pretty uncomfortable. So I think we're going to have a bit of a change of plan and head for Wollongong Harbour. It's a tight little harbour at Wollongong. I might have to check before we get there. You can get into a basin there and tie up to another vessel, apparently. So that'll get us out of this slop, and it's supposed to be going around the north tomorrow, so it'll be a lot more pleasant. We're really only doing this to get away from the COVID that's affecting Sydney at the moment. We just want to get out of there because it might affect our travel plans if they lock down Sydney with with another round of COVID going on. Anyhow, we'll see how we go a bit further down the track. We've got about 3 more hours of this to get to Wollongong. So this is the basin at Wollongong. If you come in here, it's pretty hard to get a berth against the wall, but what you can do is just ask the fishing boats if you can tie up next to them, and they'll usually let you, but sometimes they might want to go early in the morning to go fishing. You've got to weigh that up. But if you can't get the mooring we got out the front, that's the plumb spot. If you can't get that, sometimes you're forced to come in here, and sometimes that mooring at the front's pretty affected by swell as well, so it's a lot quieter night in the basin here, but not much room for transiting boats, unfortunately.
Bye-bye, Wollongong. And thank you very much.
Well, the forecast is for this wind to go around to the north by now this morning, but it still hasn't happened. It's still heading us. We left Wollongong at about 9 o'clock, just so that we could probably get a bit of wind, but it hasn't really happened. And we're heading down to the Shoalhaven River. About 6 or 7 hours it'll probably take us. We had a good night in Wollongong last night. A bit lucky last night that there wasn't any swell getting into the harbour, so it was quite comfortable on the mooring, and we had a really good stay there. We went for a walk this morning and did coffee, and just waited till a bit later before we left to try and get the wind right, and the only thing that hasn't happened is the wind is definitely not right. So it's still heading us, but there's not much of it, and it's pretty pleasant out here. It would be good to get a bit of sail out and just steady things down a bit, and give us a bit more speed, but we'll just wait, and maybe it'll go around soon and we'll be able to crack a bit of sail out.
So far, 83 cases have been linked to the Avalon cluster with nearly 40,000.
Well, this is our second day at Greenwell Point, and we're just going to go across the river to Orient Point, and there's a bit of a walk there. You can walk up to a Woolies apparently, we found out, and we're going to have a walk up there and maybe get a cup of coffee. We did all our shopping yesterday, so we're pretty right for supplies, but we'll go and have a look and see what's over there, and we'll take you with us. Let's go. Well, Google's telling us it's about a 57-minute walk to the Woolies. We had a look on Google, and there's a bit of a bay up there that's full of oyster beds by the look of it. We don't know whether it's really navigable. Probably in the dinghy we've got a shot at getting up, but if we can get up there, it gets us to within about 200 metres of Woolies, I think, so it might be a better way. So we might suss that out for you, so if you're coming here, it might be a better way for you to go and get your supplies. Bar looks pretty calm again this morning. This is the shopping precinct of Greenwell Point. Not big, but IGA, Botlow and a good butcher. There's also a servo here where you can buy petrol and get your gas bottles filled.